Coming up on the CHGO Cubs Podcast, 3. Oh, it's the magic number. Bregman chooses the number 3. We are 3 days away from CubsCon, and oh yeah, that's right. It is day 3 of our campaign. Do not trade Nico Hoerner. CHGO Cubs presented by Toyota. Coming up right now. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast on a Wednesday, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Coming to you live from Studio West. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hop in the chat. Joey Christopoulos, Justin Roman joining us. It's been a packed week, baby. It's just been me and you rocking it, and the news has been awesome all week long. And we got Sarah on the ones and twos. Sarah!
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs, indeed. Justin, man, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, dude. Again, like I said yesterday, it's just a good time to be a Cubs fan, you know? And then, you know, the hype video comes out this morning from the Cubs about Bregman, and, you know, he picks number 3, and you get that graphic. I'm putting it on my story. It's like, I'm like giddy. I'm excited that we got the big fish, you know, this offseason, and I'm really excited about this team. And just the vibes are good. Honestly, and let's scale it out a little bit. The vibes in Chicago are good right now. You know, I mean, obviously we have a whole channel dedicated to the Bears, but, you know, the city is buzzing with the Bears. You know, I say the Cubs are right there with excitement when it comes to like the offseason. It's just a good time to be a Chicagoan, you know?
Yeah, just a super cool weekend in Chicago sports coming up. So thankfully, of course, it must snow like crazy heading into the weekend, just to add a little of that je ne sais quoi, if you will. To the atmosphere. Yeah, man, you're 100% right. And man, I got to tell you that hype video, that Cubs hype video got me. That thing was total fire. And they were a little cheeky about it, about like the Cubs still waiting to make a move. And then they ushered in Bregman, a little bit of a tiny little clap back. And I got to tell them, little golf clap for making that video. And they also released a piece of huge breaking news, Justin. Alex Bregman's going to wear number 3. No controversy, and as of this moment right now, the guy who wears number 2 in the Chicago Cubs, Nico Hoerner, still a Cub.
It got me thinking too. Like if I was married to the number 2, like Alex Bregman, right? He's number 2, and you know he picked that, I believe, because he was the second pick overall behind Dansby Swanson. It was kind of like a troll thing. I want to say is why he's number 2 in the first place. Anyways, if I was number 2 and that was like my whole thing, and I was told by the front office that hey, we might be trading Nico Hoerner. I may want to wait and then eventually get number 2. That's like my number. Like for me, my number 17. I want 17 no matter where I go, what I do. Like I want number 17. So, you know, is there a little bit of writing on the wall? The fact of like Nico's staying and he's number 2 because he's a long tenured Cub and you got to shift over to number 3. Or is it just like I'm reading too much into it and a trade could still happen, could not happen, but like the number has nothing to do with it. I don't know. I'm choosing to believe that maybe he was given some intel that Nico's staying and number 2 is not available.
It's such a weird, it can easily be something, it can easily be nothing. When we talk about athletes and the numbers that they play with, right? And whether someone wants to say, oh, it's not a big deal, it always ends up kind of factoring one way or the other, whether someone has a preferred number or not. Like, Justin, what's your favorite number and what is your baseball number? Are they the same or are they different?
Yeah, like I said, 17. I was born on May 17th, so I've been 17 my whole life. I'm a left-handed first baseman. Mark Grace was a big idol of mine growing up. He was 17. Like, I am 17 till I die, bro. Like, I am all 17. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was signed by the Cubs and there was like a 17 already on the team, but like I was getting word that he was going to be traded, I would hold out for my 17, you know? But that's why I'm thinking, you know, in Bregman's shoes, maybe he's already been told that Nico's staying. It's not available. You got to pick a new number. And I like 3. 3's cool.
3 is cool. 3's my favorite number, Justin.
Oh, that's cool.
That's my favorite number. So I'm January 3rd. I'm a comedy guy, so I believe in the rules of 3. Storytelling, beginning, middle, and end. 3 has always been my number. It's my lucky number. However, when I was a baseball player growing up, I was a number 8 guy because I was an Andre Dawson guy. So I have different numbers, right? But it's just nice to see that like they weren't going to be fighting over it or something. And Alex Bregman, look, here's the bottom line with it is Alex Bregman has earned the pedigree and reputation to not be a jerk about it, but maybe say like, hey, I want to have my number if I came over and signed. It doesn't seem to be a problem at all. So already like on a teammate level, Alex Bregman already earning points without even swinging a bat. I like to see that.
Everything about the Alex Bregman signing and about him, he's already, in my opinion, embraced himself to Chicago and Chicago fans more than Tucker ever did. And, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Luke brought up the fact that Alex Bregman chose to be a Chicago Cub. That's what he wanted to do. He insisted on the no trade clause, right? Like he wants to be here. And you're already seeing it. The Blackhawks game, big old smile on his face. He instantly this morning changed his profile picture to the Cubs graphic, you know? It's like you could tell he's excited to be here. And that's what I want from my team. I want them to want to be Chicago Cubs. And so far, so good with Alex Bregman. It sounds like he wants to be here and he's proud to be here. And I love that.
Yeah, great to see everybody in the chat today. Come on in. Your comments are welcome and heard. Small Ball Queen, welcome back. Number 11 is her number. Gary Ross, great to see you, Gary. And yeah, Dante Moore and Dylan Raiola. I get it all with Oregon. Good for Dante Moore for going back. Number 18 is his for baseball. And I think I saw Godfather CHGO saying that Bregman was going to hit number 3. Let's do a Toyota super chat there. Number 3 is where he bats, as in Bregman, in the order I have spoken. So, wow. Yeah, everyone's really excited right now. And then Ron asking if we're going to CubsCon. I will be there on Friday, Ron. So hopefully we can say hello once again like we did at Old Crow Smokehouse. We did a little bit of it yesterday, Justin, about where Bregman's going to hit in the lineup.
Yeah.
It's just fun to talk about because I don't think that there's a wrong answer, right? Like you can move Bregman around 1, 2, 3. You can maybe even hit him 4 as a cleanup hitter. But I think what it also speaks to is wherever Bregman hits in the order, my hope is that then opens up or alleviates some of the pressure of some of the other guys on the team, right, Justin? Yeah. Or let's just say we had Ian Happ hitting 3rd for some stretches last year. We had Carson Kelly hitting 4th in some stretches. Dansby Swanson hitting 5th in some stretches. Bregman, again, much like Kyle Tucker was, and if Bregman can stay healthy, we'll have this for the whole season. It just kind of alleviates some of the pressure of some of the other guys, right, where they can fit in different parts in the lineup and hopefully do damage in places that they're probably more rightly slotted, right, than, Carson Kelly hitting 4th just really bothered me, and we're not going to have that issue this year.
We're not. And, don't tell me that Dansby Swanson has the potential to be like the greatest number 9 hitter of all time or number 8 hitter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people judge him on the contract, and it's kind of not fair. He's a phenomenal defender, Gold Glover, obviously. But, like, offensively, he was never going to be the superstar. But he's a star nonetheless. So don't tell me, 7, 8, 9, he can't thrive in that role. And the cool thing about someone like Bregman is it elongates the lineup, right? So yesterday, you, and Luke talked about, I think we all kind of agree, Nico, Bregman, Bush, Suzuki, and PCA, right? That sounds pretty good. The rest of the lineup, whatever, Amaya, Hap, do what you want to do. But the first 5 to me, that's strong. And then the next couple of spots in the order, these are guys like Ian Happ. He's a good ball player. He's not a number 3 hitter. Swanson, he's a good ball player. He's not a number 5 hitter. So it really elongates our lineup and makes us a threat. If you're like number 8 or 9 hitter, Swanson is hitting 25 bombs, that's a pretty good lineup.
Right. Like that's a great way to look at it, Justin, where it's like people want to give Ian Happ a hard time. Right. And I can understand it because he can be a little streaky, and it can, for some, not for me, can be frustrating that he does the same thing every year, which is, boo-hoo-hoo, hits 30 doubles, 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, scores 85 runs, on and on. But to your point, if you have Ian Happ, let's say in the 3-hole or the 4-hole, you feel a little less excited about it. But as you mentioned, like Dansby, if Ian Happ now is your 6 hitter or your 7 hitter, he suddenly becomes one of the better 6 or 7 hitters in the division and by and large a large scape of the landscape of the National League. The same point that you're saying about Dansby Swanson. I personally don't like Dansby Swanson in the 5th hole. But if Dansby Swanson is your 9th hitter, hitting 20 to 24 bombs and bringing that power surge from the bottom of the lineup. All of a sudden now he is one of the better 9 hitters in the National League. So there's two totally different ways to look at some of these players. And that's the thing about Bregman is hopefully offensively, and as other guys like Michael Busch and PCA continue to get better, they kind of start raising the boat of everybody else and putting them in better positions to succeed. And then all of a sudden you're looking more favorably at some other hitters just by the sheer presence that Bregman can bring to a lineup.
Totally. And the guys that we didn't mention 1 through 5 in our perfect lineup, Happ, Mo Baller, Miguel Amaya, and Carson Kelly, take your pick, and Swanson, like those are still 4 potentially good offensive players, but they're in the bottom third of our order. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets me excited just talking about it and thinking about it because, Miguel Amaya got hurt obviously last year, but when he was healthy, he was showing like why he was a former top prospect. Carson Kelly, he had some magic last year, Again, Ian Happ, steady as can be, but like literally when it comes to like his numbers will always be there no matter how streaky he is up and down. I'm excited as I am for 1 through 5 if they choose to do what we think. I'm almost equally as excited for like 6 through 9 because we could really create some havoc down there and then turn it back over to the big boys, right? It's all good stuff, Yeah,
and you roll the clocks back 2 years ago, that 6 through 9 was terrifying to me because PCA was struggling. As you said, Amaya was still learning the ropes. He was struggling too. I mean, there was some auto outs on the back half of that lineup 2 years ago, and that team was competitive and won 83 games. I think I'm just as excited about the 6 through 9 as you are. A couple minutes before we go to break, Justin, but there is some breaking news today. A little tangential to the Cubs, but Ranger Suárez has finally found his team, signing a 5-year deal, $130 million with the Boston Red Sox. This just happened. So I just want to get like your quick blush baseball thoughts on this. Not just for the player, but also the team that made the move.
Yeah, I mean, Boston was the only team that hadn't spent $1 in the offseason before this, right? So this is their first big splash. Obviously, they wanted Bregman, and they didn't get him. So this money, I'm assuming, kind of gets allocated elsewhere. And, Ranger Suárez, cool. I'm sure we'll talk about it on our side of the break, but a lot of rumors about, Red Sox, they have a couple of pitching prospects that they could offer up in a trade, whether it be for Matt Shaw, Nico Hoerner, whatever that is. Well, I wonder if signing someone like Ranger Suárez allows them to part with a couple of pitching prospects because now you're deeper in the rotation. They got a good rotation. So I just wonder if it's like, nope, we're just signing Suárez because we love him, or are there more moves coming and this kind of solidifies their starting rotation where other people become expendable?
Yeah, I think you're 100% right that this move does have something to do with the Cubs. And I think it has something to do with the Cubs in the way that you possibly mentioned. And I think it has to do with the Cubs in another way that I was thinking about on the drive in that should also make Cubs fans happy and excited. And I want to hit that on the other side of the break. Sarah, if it's cool, we're going to go a little early. We're going to take a break here on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. On the other side of the break, talking more Bregman. We are going to start getting into the rotation because, Edward Cabrera somehow has just gotten lost in this Bregman bonanza shuffle. We're going to talk about him a little bit. And, we are going to talk about the concept of our Day 3 campaign. Do not trade Nico Hoerner. But first, let's hear from some wonderful partners here on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. Hey, winter outside. Yeah, that's right. You snowed again. Dear winter, Toyota, they can't get enough of you. Obsessed much? That's because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive right now, and that's more than any other auto brand right now in the business. Want to hear the list? It's the versatile RAV4 with the svelte crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive. Special little place in my heart. My very first car was a Camry. I love that thing to pieces. The Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive and the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, the list goes on. And don't forget the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe all winter long. Right now, they bring the action. You bring the traction. That's right. It's Toyota. Let's go places, whether it is that Corolla, whether it is that Camry. I know I had one. It lasted up to 180,000 miles. It was pretty awesome. Remember, Toyota in the wintertime, it's the right car to drive. Let's go places. We also want to talk about our wonderful sponsors over at Game Day Men's Health. Newsflash, I'm 42 years old. That's right. I look like I'm at the peak of my powers, but that's because I have to stay on top of my game. And whether it's that peak performance that I'm looking for to become a better, perhaps, podcaster, dog father, or whether you're trying to be a better father, a better husband, Game Day Men's Health wants to support every man's health journey through personalized care that is tailored to your goals. Very quick, easy process. They came into our office a couple weeks ago, took my blood, were super nice, informative, and I got my results back in just a couple of days. You'll be in and out in an hour. They got personal care and locally owned clinics. Extremely high success rate, so you can feel better and have more energy. Whether it is you want to up your testosterone, you want to have some vitamin supplements, maybe lose a little weight with some weight loss or some hair loss treatments, Game Day Men's Health is the call. So start your best life with Game Day Men's Health. Scan the QR code or go to GameDayCHGO.com to find a location that is closest to you. Game Day Men's Health. Back here on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Joey Christopoulos, Justin Roman, Sarah on the ones and twos. Got some awesome comments here in the chat. And we got a Toyota super chat. Let's bring it in here from Jeremiah Malone 5809. Thank you so much, man. $4.99. Appreciate it. And then remember, super chats is the easiest way to get us to have you read your comments quick and definitely on the show. Shaw gives them the flexibility to rest guys. We will be stronger in October. Sign Nico and Belly. We will only be over the luxury tax this year. Dare to dream. I'm not gonna tamp it down anymore, Justin. Like, maybe the Cubs do decide to go. I've wanted them to go over the luxury tax just this year because it'll be a one-time penalty. And when you start really digging into the luxury tax, you begin to realize that you have to get up to like 270, 280 before it starts costing you like $8, $9, $10 million in luxury tax. If you get up to 250 or 255, it's only $1.5 million in penalty. And again, the Cubs, and to Jed Hoyer's credit, have put them in this great position to fly right underneath that luxury tax the very next season. So Justin, man, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm not taking it off the table that maybe there is one more move out there for the Cubs, and maybe they're going to go over that luxury tax. I can't rule it out anymore.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Like, I know Ricketts gets a bad rap, but I mean, he has spent in the past. They had a top 3 payroll for a while, during their championship window. So I know he doesn't probably spend every single year like we all want him to, but he does spend when that window is right. And it seems like right now the window is right. I mean, Alex Bregman, any doubters should be like, okay, no, he's spending, right? Now, I don't know if that means he's spending and we're like going over the threshold, to that super chat. I don't know if Cody Bellinger's a fit. I know I love Belly, but Seiya Suzuki for me in right field is perfectly fine. The bat I think can be elite. And I'm sorry, the defense in the past has been shady, but like when he filled in for Tucker and even in the postseason, I thought he was fine. He was, I'd say, an average right fielder, and he came over from Japan as a good defender, is what we were told. So I'm cool with Suzuki being in right field. Now, if you sign Belly, obviously he'd be your right fielder, and Suzuki goes to DH. I'm super high on Mo Baller, and at some point you got to let these kids play. And right now the Cubs have a really good mix of like veterans like Bregman and Swanson and Happ and and a good mix of young kids like PCA, Matt Shaw, hopefully Amaya. So and Michael Busch, I would still consider very young. So for me, it's a perfect spot for Mo Baller to be that DH. Run with it, dude. Show us the offense that you showed us last year, and basically where you've hit your entire career. Signing Belly would definitely hurt that and hinder that. I'm not going to say I would be super like angry but like I don't think we need Belly. I do think that there's a possibility to have more moves coming. I just don't think it's a Bellinger situation, because at some point I want to see what you have in Mo Baller, and I think what you have is actually pretty good.
Well, and what I think is kind of flipped on its head over the last week, and I'm in agreement with you. I think Mo Baller passed the eye test.
Yeah.
Like I had some questions about it. I liked Owen Casey's swing, but I saw a lot of swing and miss in there, and I saw a lot of whiff on fastball, and I just thought that there might be a little bit of a learning curve, right? Like Matt Shaw has worked incredibly hard to fix his swing, but I'll just be honest with you. When I first saw his swing opening day, I was like watching a horror movie. I had to wash my eye. It was like, what is this? I think Mo Baller's got a really beautiful swing, and he's already shown at the major league level that I think he's earned the opportunity. But what we're talking about and what's happened over the last week that I absolutely love, and this relates back to the Red Sox, is I can't help but feel like the Red Sox signing Ranger Suárez to a 5-year, $130 million deal is a reactionary move to losing out on Alex Bregman. Yes. And what is such a nice thing to be in a position as a Cubs fan right now is that the Cubs, when it's Edward Cabrera and Alex Bregman and by and large the bullpen, and you could even, whatever, we can even do Tyler Austin, it's that they went out and they've targeted these players and they've went out and they've succeeded acquiring them, right? Like we were just doing the Tatsuya Amai. Did they get outbid? Did the Cubs really want him? Back and forth. If I'm looking at it now, I don't think the Cubs were all in on Amai. I think Amai was the backup plan if they couldn't get a Cabrera deal done. And it was taking so long to get the Cabrera deal done that they started dipping their toe into the Amai water, right? And that's sort of where that went. But because the Cubs went in there with conviction, got the Alex Bregman deal done, I think the Red Sox now are in this reactionary mode of we got to make the fan base happy, or we got to spend this money, or we got to do something. And little Ranger Suárez, go ahead. You know what I mean? And I'd rather be in the Cubs position right now of more of in control of what I have and what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, what I want to execute than the Red Sox position right now. And that's just a fun thing to say. Like, I'm with you on Bellinger, right? But I feel there's a quiet, all of a sudden, there's a quiet confidence building in the Cubs front office to be able to go out and make some of these moves with conviction, right? I see a ton of people in the chat talking trade right now. We'll see whether that happens or not. But if nothing happens, Justin, they've gotten the job done. Whereas the Red Sox, I think, have had to react to moves that didn't work out for them. The Cubs have made the moves themselves. Yeah,
the Red Sox were on, all their fan base. You think our fan base was crazy before the Edward Cabrera trade? I mean, the Red Sox fan base was bonkers because they see those lists on Twitter where it's like, all these teams have spent except for the Red Sox $0. Like they were losing their minds, And I think, Joey, I wish I was an assistant in Jed Hoyer's office because I want to say there were two plans of attack. And I said it. Y'all can fact check me, and Joey, you can vouch for me. I've said this all along. I thought they were going to make a big trade and a big signing, and I didn't know which one was going to be which. If you sign Dylan Cease, you're trading for a bat potentially. Obviously, they traded for Cabrera, and the big signing was a bat. So I didn't know which way it was going to go, but I kind of believe they maybe had two plans. But one trade and one big signing, and they did that. So the Amai thing, I'm with you. Maybe Cabrera was the one that they really, really wanted, but then Jed's like, this deal may not get done. Maybe he was balking at Casey. And fine, we'll throw our hat in the ring for Amai just in case. So bottom line, the way it played out, I am thrilled. I love Cabrera and Bregman, but I'm with you. I don't know what else to expect because if it ended today and this was our team, a couple minor things rounding it out, I'm thrilled. Now, if a trade comes out and they traded Matt Shaw, or Nico Hoerner, or maybe they blow through the tax and they do sign someone like Cody Bellinger. I'm not going to be surprised anymore because I think that they have a plan, and maybe that plan does include blowing past the luxury tax. I don't know, but I'm thrilled. It's a good place to be when you could say you do nothing else. I'm very, very happy, but they do even more. I'm ecstatic, right? It's a good place to be.
So let's do this. There's a great conversation going on in our chat right now. And this is what CHGO Cubs and CHGO Sports is all about. I'm going to bring a conversation that people are having in the chat. Let's bring it onto the show because it relates to what we're talking about. The first one that I saw, I think, was Corey Seacrest was asking. You don't need to find it, Sarah. It's okay. I can remember it. It's he was just asking how good is the Red Sox rotation right now? If you do Suárez, if you do Crochet, you do Tanner Houck, you do Brian Bello. They have some interesting pieces. And they do have a deeper starting rotation. I think what's going on right now in the chat is our guy, Gary, and other people are discussing, would now the Red Sox be interested in a guy like Matt Shaw for high-end pitching prospects in Boston's system? I want to get your take on that because there's two schools of thought. One, I do believe that the Cubs love Matt Shaw. But two, Jed Hoyer has been pretty clear that the focus all offseason was going to be about starting pitching. I'm not here to sit here and say, well, one prospect would be better than the other. Mm-hmm. But how would you feel about that if the Cubs did turn around and did a deal with the Red Sox and it was Matt Shaw going to the Red Sox for maybe two of Boston's higher end pitching prospects, How would you digest that news?
Well, it's funny, Joey. So when you asked my reaction on Ranger Suárez, the signing, that's the first thing I thought of because Ken Rosenthal, I want to say it was this morning, maybe late last night. I don't know the exact, but he name checked those two prize pitching prospects from the Red Sox in a deal for Nico Hoerner, but you could switch out with Matt Shaw. Cubs, right? So when the Red Sox signed Suárez, it got me thinking like, is this the guy they really, really, really wanted, or they do want him? But it also allows them to trade from strength now, which is their pitching infrastructure. So, man, it's listen, I have walked the line of I am down with the Cubs being open for business. I am okay with Jed Hoyer answering every phone call on Nico Hoerner, on Matt Shaw. There are no untouchables minus PCA and Cade Horton for me, basically, right? So I'm all for being open for business. Now, I will say this. If you're going to trade Nico Hoerner, you better get some really good things back, and Matt Shaw slides into second base. The other way around, if you trade Matt Shaw, there better be a Nico Hoerner extension because Matt Shaw seems to be the backup plan to Nico Hoerner. So my thing is, Matt Shaw for a couple great pitching prospects, like almost ready to go. Okay, but Nico better be signed for 5 more years because the only way I stomach Nico leaving is because we have Matt Shaw, and I do think his potential and ceiling is sky high, and I hate to give up on that early.
Yeah, and here's the rub on it. If it is Matt Shaw, and we got Gary Ross in the chat with the Toyota Super Chat saying Red Sox wanted Matt Shaw in the draft too, so we're assuming that he's been coveted by the organization for a while. Okay. And look, I'm not here to pass judgment on who these high-end pitching prospects could possibly be in a deal, and it might be great news for the Chicago Cubs. Here's what I do know, though. We were just talking about the money factor. And if you take Matt Shaw off of this team for 2 guys that maybe in theory might not be ready or maybe would help you towards the back end of 2026 and not in the moment when opening day happens, that also seems to say to me that the Cubs then are willing to go over the luxury tax because they're either going to have to sign somebody else or, as you said, Justin, get Nico Hoerner locked up right now.
Yeah.
So that's the only part that I'm curious to see what that would all look like. And the part of it, if it's Nico Hoerner for top pitching prospects, I understand that Matt Shaw would replace him. Again, though, my hesitancy would lie in the fact that on opening day, we would be a lesser team than we are in this moment right now. And just an easy fundamental way to look at it is if you feel like your team is strong right now in July, do not weaken it before opening day. I know you want to think about tomorrow. I get it. I totally get it. But you can still wait on it. You can still wait on Matt Shaw and do this deal a little bit differently. I just feel like the way that the team is constituted and constructed right now in January, don't take away from that before opening day. That's the part that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me.
Now, here's a hot take that I'm giving you as a diehard Nico Hoerner fan. Here is a hot take. I do believe Matt Shaw's ceiling is higher than Nico Hoerner because I do believe that there's a lot of power in there. And if you tell me you get we already seen him be a great defender. You get and at third base. So that means and he played second base in college his freshman year. So a great defender at second base, presumably, an offensive threat with power. I think his ceiling is higher. Now, prospects don't always pan out. I know that. So right now, Nico is the better player. I am with you guys. But the hot take here for me is that Matt Shaw's ceiling is higher. I really would hate to part with him. I've talked myself into both guys can coexist this year, and we would be a deep, deep, deep team, and probably 1-2 with the Dodgers, probably for favorites going into the postseason. But I've also talked myself into looking at the layout of the land when it comes to past this season, and Ian Happ is a free agent, Seiya Suzuki is a free agent, and Nico Hoerner is a free agent. Matt Shaw could fit in any of those spots next year in a starting role, even if he is quote unquote super utility right now. So for me, my preference is keep both guys and let's rock. Let's do this thing, But I really am hesitant to give up on Matt Shaw because I do think his ceiling is sky high, and I would just hate to give that up early.
Yeah, it's a fascinating consideration. I'm with you that I don't think Matt Shaw's trade value is as high as it probably will hit in his career. While I will also say Nico Hoerner's value may not be higher, but then you have to ask yourself the question, if his value is so high, why don't you just keep him on the damn team? You know what I mean? So, like, that's kind of where we're at with both of these guys, right? And that's what's so interesting about it. Let's take a break here on the CHGO Cubs podcast. The chat is rocking today. Great job, guys. Keep the great comments coming in. Remember, super chats also are more than welcome. Hit the like button. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk about the Cubs rotation, talk a little depth, keep the conversation rolling, and yeah, just dive right into it. So let's hear from some of our wonderful partners here on CHGO Cubs, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. We will be right back in 2 minutes. Hey, sports fans. Right now, there are new vehicles in store at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. It's your chase to score a great deal at the year-end sales event. Head to Ray CDJR and Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. And right now, get $0 down and 0 payments until March on all new CDJR models. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles that are priced under $20,000. They got a friendly team of brand experts, so the team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. Plus, they prioritize affordability. Yes, so you know you won't overpay for the vehicle that you need. It's Ray's price promise that sets them apart. You can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. It is that simple. So you can find the right vehicle for you, then drive home happy. The team at Ray CDJR is the one that we recommend. So don't miss out on their year-end sales event. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com for all their wonderful offers today. And also, did I mention it before? Winter is here. It snowed again. You got to ask yourself the question, is your home heating up for the challenge? If you got a plumbing emergency, you know what you should do? You should call Four Seasons. You got an electrical emergency? Call Four Seasons. Need a new hot water tank installed today? Call Four Seasons. Think about a whole home generator. They've got you covered because at Four Seasons, they guarantee same installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. So right now, save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Four Seasons, they got furnaces starting at $39 a month and furnace AC combos at $57 a month. And you can call today and save $50 from their trusted local experts. It is Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, serving the Chicagoland community for over 50 years. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. Back here on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by Toyota, Joey Christopoulos, Justin Roman, Sarah on the ones and twos. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. We're at 103,000 subscribers right now, so join the club. Hang out with us. Chef Kevin Penner, man, crushing it with Shota, Nico, Saya, Hap, and Town are all free agents next year. They'll need to rebuild the bullpen again next year. They need to make the most of this year. The voice of reason. Thank you, Chef Reason. You are the best, my friend. Thank you so much for coming into the chat. Before we move on, talking about the CHGO community. This weekend, there's this little thing called Bears Rams. And that's right now, if you want to become a diehard, and get that free Iceman t-shirt or all the other wonderful merch that we have. We got Cubs merch too over there as well. There is a special $36 intro offer right now to become a diehard. That means for $36 for the year. That means all the way through the next Cubs season, all the way through the next Bears season, you could be a diehard, which means exclusive written content by Adam Johns, Patrick Norton, Jared Willis, Will Gottlieb, Mario Tirabassi, Jay Zawoski, the whole crew. You get a free t-shirt. You get exclusive discounts to all of our events, like our CHGO Bears Tailgate, where it's all you can eat, all you can drink, barbecue and beers this weekend. It's a great thing. $36, $3 a month to hang out with us, jump in the Discord lounge, hang out with, we text back and forth. We'll send emojis, do all that good stuff. We'll have a fantastic time. Joey, so make sure you please check that out.
Joey, so you want to know why we settled on $36 for the year?
Why?
Because it's divisible by 3, Alex Bregman's new number. We knew that. So we're like, let's bring it all back to Bregman because he saved the Bears season. So why not make our $36 offer divisible by 3?
That's a great way to think about it. So for the next 12 months, all you have to do is just pay a small little a Bregman donation, if you will.
Yes.
A $3 donation for his number, and you can be a CHGO diehard and hang out with us in the Discord lounge. all year long. And, get that sweet, sweet Iceman t-shirt. So you make sure you go to allchgo.com for more details and sign up today. Let's dive into one of our wonderful segments that we have here on CHGO Cubs. Let's get to our game day men's health segment of the day, and let's get to the difference maker. The pipeline difference maker for game day men's health. Whether you're a better father, better husband, better man, better podcaster, better dog father, go to game day men's health. Visit gamedaychgo.com to find locations closest to you. Our game day men's health difference maker, Justin. I'm going to go a little bit different here. When we talk about pipeline with the Chicago Cubs, they utilize that pipeline in Owen Casey to bring in a guy like Edward Cabrera. And I want to do some rotation talk with you because Bruce Levine tweeted it. We've mentioned it on the show months ago. Gary Ross is in the chat refuting it, but I think it's time that here's the thing about baseball. Old axioms, old norms, things evolve all the time in the game of baseball. No one knew that there was going to be an opener in baseball, right? Like no one knew that everyone in the planet was going to throw 98 miles an hour. Things change all the time. So game day men's health difference maker. Is it Edward Cabrera for you? Is he the X factor of the Cubs rotation? And also let's dive into, can the Cubs possibly deploy a 6-man rotation at some point this season?
Yeah, Cabrera is the wild card there because, I've seen enough out of Cade Horton. We don't have a small sample of Cade Horton. We have a large sample of Cade Horton, and he is, I think, without a doubt, our ace. He was nasty. Best pitcher in baseball statistically for a big chunk of it. Second half, again, I think the postseason is totally different if we have Cade Horton going game one against, then the Padres and then the Brewers. But anyway, so for me, Cade Horton is your ace. Edward Cabrera has the stuff to be an ace, and he's got the velocity, he's got the stuff, but we don't need that. We need to be a strong number 2. Like if we go into the season and Cabrera could be that number 2, our rotation of Horton, Cabrera, Matthew Boyd, Taillon, and Shota Imanaga, that's a strong 5. Now, your second part of that question was 6-man rotation. We have our former ace and the heart and soul of our team, Justin Steele, coming back. I'm going to say conservatively second half. Now, he may surprise everybody and be ready opening day or in May. Or I'm going to say second half conservatively. But with him coming back from an injury, with Edward Cabrera in the past having injury problems, with Matthew Boyd in the past having injury problems, with Cade Horton having, his innings pushed, bigger and bigger and bigger.
And real quick, he hasn't finished the last 2 years healthy. It's just a fact, This is what it is.
Shota Imanaga also coming off an injury at the end of last year. I think in this case, keeping everybody fresh for October, because we all think we're going to be playing October baseball again. I think in this case, second half of the year when Steele comes back, why would you not try a 6-man rotation? Because if you don't, who's getting bumped? Now, mind you, injuries happen. I get that. But if everybody's healthy, why would you not implement a 6-man rotation to keep everybody fresh for postseason?
Look, when it comes to the game day men's health difference maker, it's easily Edward Cabrera, right? Because this can go into different directions. Well, honestly, it can go into 3, right? Like 1, you worry about first and foremost his health. You want to see him get through the season healthy. The second one is that, like any pitcher, he could struggle and be ineffective. And then the third one is the one that we're all banking on, is that this guy unlocks something, and with the Cubs pitch lab, he takes his game to another level. That's a difference maker, right? Now, all of a sudden, you do have Cade Horton and Edward Cabrera throwing gas and striking guys out, right? Like, losing streak snappers, right? You know what I mean? And also guys that can also quickly build winning streaks for you too as well. That's the most important one. You pick up a win here and there, and then you got Horton Cabrera the next 2 days. Boom, baby, that's 3 in a row. And what did the Cubs do all last year? They won 2 out of 3 over and over and over and over again. My follow-up question to you is, it sounds like you said Horton Cabrera, Boyd, Shota Imanaga, Jameson Taillon. No, that's your 5?
That's my 5 for sure, but the order for me is different. I went Horton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Matchup aside, what is your order right now? Like, what's your ranking? Yeah.
My order is how I would put them off in rotation is Cade Horton 1, Cabrera 2, Matthew Boyd 3, Tyone 4, Shota Imanaga 5. Now, I am high on Shota Imanaga because for a year and a half of his 2 years with the Cubs, he was ace-like, but he's also the one who struggled the worst down the stretch and in the postseason. So, people can argue about what. For me, it's Horton, Cabrera, Boyd, Tyone, and Shota. Plus, it splits the lefties up a little bit between Boyd and Shota. Gives Tyone in the middle of that. So that's my 5. That's my order.
Yeah, look, and the 6-man is really intriguing to me. And I do think I think multiple inning pitchers, especially with the new rules now, like the guy that comes in and only pitches to one hitter, those days are gone because of the rules. I also think teams are kind of looking for guys that can maybe go multiple innings at a time. Randy Lewis in the chat's bringing up a really good point. And this is the sticking point, right, of a 6-man rotation. Where's a bullpen out through? Where's a bullpen out through? And it's not like the guys in the pen have options outside of Palencia who are not sending down to rotate arms for fresh arms. It's a very fair point. So if you do have a 6-man rotation, you are carrying one less bullpen guy that you can use on a given daily basis because you're trying to work around that. The part that I'm also trying to make sense of is, and we're just playing this out because it's January, right? We're 2 days away from CubsCon. So let's just have this conversation. If Steele comes back and they don't want to do a 6-man rotation, Matthew Boyd has the most experience transitioning to that role, Justin. But wouldn't that be all performance-based? You're not just going to stick Matthew Boyd in the bullpen if he's having another all-star caliber season, right? Like, one of those guys, there's going to be an odd man out situation. I'm just really curious to see how they use this. And I guess this is what's fun, right? Is they do have so much depth. And it's not an embarrassment of riches like I've used on with other things with our depth offensively, but with our starting rotation, it's like it's a dearth of solid. We just have we got a lot of logs that we can throw on the fire. So I'm just so curious to see how Counsell rolls this out, because if Steele comes back, it isn't going to be about a guy that can do the role. It's probably going to be a guy that's performing in a way that deserves the demotion. I'm curious to see how it works out.
I think it's kind of parallel to our infield situation. We have not just 4 infielders that are totally capable of being starters. We have 5. I think in the rotation, with everybody's health and with Justin Steele coming back healthy, we don't just have 5 starters that are capable. We have 6. And baseball has a funny way of playing things out. Remember the theme before last offseason was Seiya Suzuki was very, very mad that he didn't want to just be a DH, and he wanted to play the field. But we got Kyle Tucker, and Suzuki, his camp was mad, whatever it was. Well, look how it played out, man. Tucker got hurt and couldn't play the field, and there's good old Seiya Suzuki patrolling right field, and not just in the second half or down the stretch, but also in the playoffs. These things kind of work themselves out. Infield wise, I like having that depth. Starting rotation-wise, I like having that depth, especially when you have Horton, who hasn't pitched, 200 innings before. He's still very much on that limit, and we're going to raise it up every year. Boyd's been hurt, Cabrera's been hurt, Shota's been hurt, and Steele's coming back from an injury. Especially in that situation, it's great to have depth because it'll work itself out. And if everybody is totally healthy, that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, and can they get creative on the math? That's why you paid Craig Counsell $40 million, right? Of like, we've talked also about piggyback starts. Like, so let's just hypothesize for a second. If you have a Shota Imanaga start and you run him out for 50, 60, 70 pitches, and then you bring in a Colin Ray or a Justin Steele, and then he goes multiple innings. And all of a sudden, maybe you have games where you're only running out really 3 pitchers the whole game. That's another way to save the bullpen, too, as well. So I understand the 6th man, each one has to rest up for their particular day and can't be used on any other day. But I'm wondering if we can get into some mixing and matching of, Cade Horton for 5 innings, Colin Ray for 2.
Well, hell yeah. I think you have a really good point there, because we have not only Colin Ray that can give you multi-innings. We also have Ben Brown, who I think is a wild card as well.
Javier Assad.
those are two guys, and Assad, those are three guys that have been starters before that could help negate the bullpen taxing of a 6-man rotation, you know? Or if Council wants to do some piggyback stuff on Shota, and, you know, I mean, Shota Imanaga's starting, and then you bring in fireball right-hander Ben Brown after that. Like, offensive lineups, I mean, what's going on? You know, like, you have whiplash. So ultimately, like, again, these are great problems to have, but we do have some bullpen pieces that can really, really stretch it out for you to not tax the bullpen like other bullpens have probably been taxed in the past with a 6-man rotation. But you know what? Again, great problems to have. The fact that we're talking about how deep we are, I love this conversation.
Oh, what are we going to do with our 14th starting pitcher, Justin? Yeah, right. Like you said, great power. Also, when it comes great problems, with Craig Counsell, great power comes great responsibility, right? This is why you pay the big bucks to figure out how this is all going to make work and make sense and run out the most successful unit you can every single day.
And Joey, one more thing. I want to talk about the chat for a second because I want to make sure they know that we are reading the chat. Uncle Ted saying, no Jackson Wiggins love, ? Listen, we haven't even talked about Jackson Wiggins. I mean, like, we're talking about an embarrassing of riches in the starting rotation, and we haven't even mentioned Jackson Wiggins' name until right now. So ultimately, you know, these are great problems to have. You know, I'm looking at Wiggins like, you know, that's a wild card because our top pitching prospect, you know, clearly he's got a path in 27 to be in the rotation because we're losing a bunch of guys. But this year, where does he play? Is he a multi-inning reliever this year down the stretch? I don't know. But like we do have so many options that we didn't even mention Jackson Wiggins till right now.
Yeah, look, Jackson Wiggins, I love him as a prospect. He's got to earn it on this team. It's as simple as that. He's a young player. Go out and pitch, stay healthy, be awesome, make it hard, make it a hard decision for the Cubs to make, and then we will talk. And then that's when Jackson Wiggins gets his love. We got to take a break here. It's the final break on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. On the other side of the break, more of this conversation, CubsCon. Do not trade Nico Hoerner. But let's hear from some of our wonderful partners here on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. We'll be right back. Hey, Chicago sports fans, are you looking for a spot to watch the Bears-Rams game this Sunday or any of your favorite games or Cubs games this season? We got a place for you that checks all the boxes. It's chef-driven with elevated bar food that's locally inspired. They got the best smash burger in the business, and they got tavern-style pizza that's amazing. That's right. I'm talking about Almost Home Tavern. They've got the best food out there, and they also offer tons of games. It's pools, darts, big buck hunter, shuffleboard. The list goes on. They got wall-to-wall TVs, perfect for watching literally any sport. And the owners, we love this, CHGO diehards. Let's go, and they're massive Bears fans. So yes, Bears-Rams is going to be on this Sunday. It's just a block north of Wrigley Field, so it's the ideal pregame, during game, and post-game Cubs spot in just a couple of months. But don't wait until there. Head now to Almost Tavern for their daily specials and happy hour that's actually worth your time. Go check it out today. Your home away from home, the CHGO diehard-owned Almost Home Tavern. Speaking of Bears-Rams, if you're trying to maybe go to the game, or if you're trying to go to any game this winter or into the Cubs season, you got to check out the Game Time app because it gives the advantage back to the fans. It is the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust that you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. And here's my favorite part. The fees are always included. So what you see is what you pay. Not more when you go to the checkout. What you click on is what you're going to pay. They have easy-to-find MLB tickets across their app and tickets for every kind of event in your area. They got zone deals so you can save even more money when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. They also have that lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference, and they also have Game Time ticket coverage, so it's covered with the most flexible customer service in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB and NFL tickets with Game Time. Right now, if you download the app and create an account, you can use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Game Time app, download it today. Coming back here, rounding third, heading home here on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by Toyota. The wonderful Justin Roman joining me with Sarah on the ones and twos. The chat's been on fire today. We've been talking about everything. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been on CHGO_Cubs on Twitter, thank you for joining us in our cause. It is day 3 of our campaign of Do Not Trade Nico Hoerner. And at this time, I'd like to present some really fun, interesting facts about Nico Hoerner that helps continue the campaign, the cause, to not trade Nico Hoerner. Justin, did you know that Nico Hoerner had a 94.9 contact rate last year? He was in the 86th percentile in speed, a 99th percentile in whiff. That means the dude never swings and misses. Did you know that Nico Hoerner can dribble a bowling ball? Did you know that Nico Hoerner can cook minute rice in 30 minutes? Did you know that Oscar De La Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz on the Cincinnati Reds last year, he struck out 181 times in 699 plate appearances. Nico Hoerner, it takes him 3 years to do that. In 190 games, over his last 1,800 plate appearances, he's only struck out 190 times. So it takes him 3 times the amount of times to strike out as Ellie De La Cruz. And did you know when Nico Hoerner does division, there are no remainders? And he once won a game of Connect Four in only 3 moves, Justin. That is crazy. Nico Hoerner. Do not trade Nico Hoerner.
And I'm secure enough to admit he's a very good-looking man as well. I mean, he's a good-looking dude. So, just for the fact of him on a Cubs poster looks good for all of Chicago. That's a guy you want to keep, right?
I'll tell you, my thing is, I think his doppelganger is Mark Hamill. I think Nico Hoerner kind of looks like Luke Skywalker. Are you going to trade Luke Skywalker? Is that really what we're doing? Is this what we're getting involved in? And I also met Nico Hoerner at a Cubs season ticket meet and greet. Shook his hand. Strong as oak.
Strong hand, huh?
Oh, man, strong hand. We also have people have been awesome. They've been sending us in their fan submissions too as well recently. You can do it also if you want to at CHGO_Cubs. You can send it to me at Joey Sports Guy too if you want to. But people have been sending in their submissions, pleading to Jed to not trade Nico Hoerner. Let's see the one that we got yesterday.
Jed, Carter, please, for the love of all the baseball gods, do not trade Nico Hoerner. We can win the World Series this year. Do not trade Nico Hoerner, please.
No notes.
Love it. Love it.
No notes, man.
I love how he included Carter. That's the first time we included Carter on that. I mean, he was he's praying to everybody. He's Jed, Carter. I mean, he's calling everybody out.
Carter, just don't trade one of the last Jedis that we have. You know what I mean?
Okay, so Joey, hypotheticals. Here we go. Hypotheticals. Yeah. In the chat, and with that Rosenthal article, I believe he was talking about Hoerner, but put Matt Shaw in there. Nico Hoerner, whatever. So, because actually Rosenthal did say Nico Hoerner. If Nico Hoerner was traded to the Boston Red Sox for their top 2 pitching prospects that apparently are really good, I'll be honest, I don't really know where they slot nationally, but whatever. No.
Yeah, that's okay.
You are saying hard no.
Of course, look, I would do my due diligence to learn about these pitching prospects, right? Yeah. And the last thing, there's 2 things that I don't do, and I think both of them are fair, and it's not me talking out both sides of my mouth. The first one is I'm never going to say this kid isn't going to make it. Well, also at the same time, I'm never going to say this kid's easily going to make it. You just never know with prospects, right? There's always that little something. Everyone can have the talent in the world, but there's always that little bridge that they need to cross in their game or that hole in their game that they need to fill up to make it at the major league level. So I wouldn't knee-jerk react like that. The problem that would make me really upset, and we talked about it on yesterday's show, is that if it is 2 pitching prospects, sure, I might be happy in 2028, but every single season is sacred. The 2026 Cubs are primed to win right now. They are dangerous enough where we could have a reasonable argument about how they can compete with the Dodgers without sounding like we're drunk. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my only thing. And yesterday I said, you know what, if we flipped open our phone and it was, oh my God, we just traded Nico Hoerner for Mason Miller. Oh my God, we just traded Nico Hoerner and obviously pieces for Joe Ryan.
Right.
At that point, I love Nico Hoerner, but you'd have to say I understand the deal, and I can also make the argument that maybe the Cubs just got better, but just in a different way. If it's Nico Hoerner for prospects, I'm telling you, man, in the moment, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset for the 2026 Cubs, a team that I really think can make some noise and be really dangerous in the National League.
Yeah, I think it's again, I would rather personally extend Nico Hoerner. An announcement coming before the Cubs convention. How great would that be? Opening ceremonies. Oh, by the way, we extended him for 5 years. I'm all in on that. I just still believe you take phone calls because I don't want to get rid of Matt Shaw because, again, I'll reiterate, I do think Matt Shaw's ceiling is higher than Nico Hoerner while providing similar defense. Nico's probably a better defender, but Matt Shaw is also very young, So I saw amazing things out of Matt Shaw last year defensively, and he ended the year with more homers than Nico Hoerner, and he got sent down to AAA. I mean, he didn't play as much as Nico. So I think the ceiling is higher on Matt Shaw. So I don't like choosing between the two, but if you had like a gun to my head and who would you rather trade, if I'm not getting an extension for Nico Hoerner, I don't want to trade Matt Shaw because he's your security for the year after and beyond. I mean, again, I would rather extend Nico Hoerner, keep Matt Shaw, have Matt Shaw be your left fielder in 2027 or whatever it is, and you're better off for that. But if it's one or the other, man, I really hate to give up on Matt Shaw's potential because already we've seen his floor defensively is phenomenal. And the power is there too. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, look, I think that's fair. Carter Hawkins in the chat just said the trade would be Christian, deal Matt Shaw to Boston for Christian Campbell and Connor Early. Okay, I mean, Campbell's in the same spot as Matt Shaw, where he was a guy that, made the major league team and had to go back down to the minors to work on some stuff. And frankly, to Matt Shaw's credit, Matt Shaw bounced back and was a threat and brought the power in the second half. And that's something that Campbell still had to work through. So I understand maybe you're getting the pitcher on top of that, but man, I don't know. I'm just sort of sitting in the spot right now where I'm just living in the here and now.
Yeah.
And Nico Hoerner is in the here and now. So you know what I mean? Like, save Nico, man. Like, save Nico. Don't let it happen. I mean, did you know that Nico Hoerner doesn't actually read books? He just stares at them until he just gets the information that he wants.
He's perfect. He's and again, I don't want someone to take my clips and but I'm not advocating for it at all. He is one of my favorite, if not my favorite Cub currently on the team. He really is. Perfect ball player, but man, if he's not going to give me an extension before the season, I have to answer the phone calls. And at least, you know what? I think Corey Secret says, as much as you love any player, always take calls to see how other teams view/value your players. Absolutely. At the very least, let's get a scale here of what other people think of Nico Hoerner when it comes to extension talks and trade down the road.
Yeah, 100%. And it's also fair to say, like, teams that are striking out on players or teams that have fan bases that are pissed off right now are looking at the Cubs players and being like, oh, yeah, we're trying to get this really good guy. And then, you know what I mean? So let's just see how this all works out. There's a lot of chatter. It is the internet. It is Twitter. Some things are real. Some things are definitely like fluffed up to kind of prop up other people's positions and things along those lines. Justin, we got about 2.5 minutes before we get out of here, but I got a question for you. CubsCon is on Friday. They are going to be celebrating the 2016 Cubs. I'll ask you this question. If you could have dinner with anyone from the 2016 Cubs, and it could be coaching staff, it could be front office, it can be player, dinner with one of those 2016 Cubs, who would it be?
I promise you, I'm not being braggadocious or bragging or anything, but
you son of a.
I've already hung out and I had dinner with Anthony Rizzo. And let me just tell you guys. What
did you eat? What kind of food did you eat?
We were at some steak. I mean, it was a bunch of people. It wasn't just me and him. We weren't like on a date, but like it was a bunch of people. Yeah, like at a steakhouse. But my point is that anybody who loves Anthony Rizzo should know he's exactly the way you think he is. He's a great dude, nice to everybody, and he is what you think he is. They say don't meet your heroes. Anthony Rizzo is that guy, and I'm so glad he's back being an ambassador for the Cubs because, in my opinion, he should have never left in the first place. He should have been a Cub for life, minus little stint in San Diego, which wasn't our fault. But once he got here, I wish he signed a lifetime contract. But he is what you think he is, and so for me, I want to hang out with Rizzo again. He was cool.
Yeah. If baseball was doing deferrals 5 or 6 years ago, Anthony Rizzo would still be a Cub.
Yeah.
Because they would have paid him, and that money would have gone into him being an ambassador. He would have stayed in the organization forever. My answer is with Uncle Ted's. I'm going with Uncle Ted's. I would have dinner with Joe Madden. I think it would be really fun. We would talk baseball. We could talk movies. We could talk books. We could talk music. We could have, I think he likes wine. I'm not a big wine guy, but whatever. I'll try whatever wine that he's tossing around. I think we'd have really a fun, enlightening conversation And I think it would be a lot of fun. But Anthony Rizzo's a great one, man. When you say never meet your heroes, I'm with you, man. You should probably meet Anthony Rizzo. And maybe I will one day and shake his hand.
He's an all-time human being. Like, forget a ball player. He's an all-time human being. And I just want to make sure y'all know that he is exactly who you think he is.
I'm going to answer it very quick. Yeah. Chris Bryant.
Yeah?
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
That's it.
Tall, handsome, wonderful.
Tall, handsome, wonderful.
Definitely going to buy you dinner. That's for sure. Let's do the surf and turf, KB. We got to get out of here. CHGO, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for hopping in. Or if you're watching on YouTube, please like this video. We've had an awesome week of shows. It's such a great time to be a Cubs fan. CubsCon is on Friday. We're going to be back with a full slate of more shows. Do not forget tomorrow, Corey and Brendan, Cubs related, tomorrow night. Do not miss it. That's a can't miss episode with the pitch doctor and the wonderful, fantastic Corey Friedman. Shout out to Justin Roman, my guy. Shout out to Sarah on the ones and twos. CHGO_Cubs. Follow us. Save Nico. Send us in your submissions. Like our videos, all that good stuff. But we're out of here. Have a great week. As Luke says, what a perfect time to fly the W. Bye-bye.
We all silly like the mayor.